In 2011, two users executing the exact same travel search on the Orbitz website received completely different results. One user saw options starting at $250 a night, while the other was shown rooms for $210. The underlying variable was hardware. Mac users were shown hotels costing 10 to 13% more, and were 40% more likely to select a 4- or 5-star property than their counterparts on PCs. Orbitz never asked for the user's income, age, or gender. Instead, they tracked a specific behavioral variable to deduce a customer's willingness to pay. This illustrates segmentation, the process of separating a heterogeneous group of customers into homogeneous subgroups based on shared needs and preferences. A critical rule in this process is that firms do not create these segments, they use data to uncover them. Discovering a verified behavioral data point provides a more actionable and profitable strategy than relying on a demographic guess. Most companies default to demographic segmentation, building products based on the who. This approach creates a strategic trap. Consider the failure of the Bic Cristal for her pen. The assumption that women required a thinner, pastel-colored pen at a higher price was a demographic guess that bore no relation to how consumers actually bought pens. Market segmentation variables generally fall into a three-tiered hierarchy. At the bottom tier is the who, the demographics, media habits, and lifestyles of the audience. The who is the easiest metric to measure, but it is often the weakest predictor of actual purchasing intent. Strategy becomes more effective when it shifts focus up to the middle tier, customer purchase behavior, or the what. Companies with rich transaction data, such as LL Bean, utilize the RFM model. RFM stands for the recency, frequency, and monetary value of purchases. Isolating customers who score high in all three metrics highlights a concentrated target zone for high-value marketing. Empirical proof from a study of European retail banks showed that loyal customers bought 40% more products and generated up to 70% more lifetime value than average account holders. Past behavior and brand loyalty map future revenue with far greater accuracy than an age bracket or a zip code. The apex of the framework is the why, understanding the specific needs and decision processes that drive a purchase. The B2B manufacturer Hillrom provides a clear example. Originally, the company segmented hospitals by facility size, treating 50-bed and 250-bed facilities as different categories. This demographic approach was inefficient. The sales force pushed high-end service innovations to clients who neither valued them nor had the budget to afford them. Hillrom reevaluated their market based on needs, uncovering two segments: key customers and prime customers. The logic of these groups differed fundamentally. Key customers viewed purchases as long-term investments in patient outcomes. Prime customers bought out of necessity, prioritizing low maintenance and price. Realigning the sales force to address these specific needs rather than hospital size drove a 51% increase in operating income per employee. Needs-based segmentation works in consumer markets too, like this McKinsey study on hypertension patients. These groups aren't segmented by demographics like weight, but by psychological attitudes. The proactive segment values medication, while the skeptical segment distrusts physicians. Understanding these psychological barriers is the only way a pharmaceutical company can design an adherence program that actually works. A mathematically distinct segment is only useful to a corporation if it survives 6 rigorous operational filters. A useful segment must be identifiable, substantial, accessible, stable, differentiable, and actionable. One major U.S. insurance company spent millions of dollars uncovering segments that eventually proved useless. They abandoned the project because they could not locate the individuals in those segments or design programs to reach them. The data failed the accessibility and actionability tests. A segment that cannot be operationalized is an academic theory, not a business strategy. Once validated, the firm enters targeting, the act of selecting which specific groups to pursue. Target market selection is dictated by 3 converging nodes. Segment characteristics measures raw opportunity, size, growth rate, and potential profitability. High-growth segments attract intense competition. A firm must cross-reference the market opportunity against competitor strength and its own internal resources to ensure a fit. Targeting serves as the strategic bridge that matches theoretical segments to market realities. Targeting execution exists on a spectrum, ranging from mass marketing, like Coca-Cola, to extreme customization. Mass customization uses data to create a segment of one, turning individual personalization into a scalable business model. The IBM Watson Oncology Platform is an advanced instance of this approach. Watson cross-references medical research against individual patient records and insurance to recommend a personalized cancer treatment. This approach is only viable when the marginal cost of variation is near zero, or when the customer is willing to pay a significant premium. Tailored genes and oncology treatments justify the cost of customization, but commodity products like toilet paper do not. Product economics dictate the targeting limit. These stages form the complete marketing process: segmentation, targeting, and positioning, or STP. The STP process functions as the organization's primary resource allocation engine. By moving past the demographic trap and rigorously filtering for behavioral and needs-based data, a firm stops guessing what a market wants and starts aligning its capital with empirical reality.